Yo, what's up guys, it's Austin, and you might not have noticed, but Apple hasn't released a new iPod in 3 years. Should we care? This is the new 6th generation iPod Touch. For the most part, it's identical to the 5th generation minus this stupid wrist strap thing. Yeah, it was stupid. The first thing I noticed was just how small it is. It has the same 4-inch screen and it looks hilarious compared to my 6 Plus. It's tiny. It comes in 5 new colors: space gray, silver, gold, pink, and blue. Now here I have both the space gray and the gold versions, and in case you're wondering, the space gray isn't the same color as the space gray iPhone, or the new MacBook for that matter. It's just a bit darker. Anyways, the new iPods come in 16, 32, 64, and 128GB configurations, which range from $200 to $400. Actually not a terrible price, especially when you consider how many improvements they made. Like I said before, the new iPod looks just like the old one from 3 years ago, but they made pretty significant changes on the inside. For one, they swapped out the older 5-megapixel camera for an 8-megapixel camera, which brings it a lot closer to the iPhone's camera. You don't get all the same features of the iPhone 6, but it's close enough. You can only record in 1080p at 30 frames per second and slow motion at 120 frames per second compared to 60 and 240 frames on the iPhone. But it's still actually really good. Obviously you're not going to pick this up to use as your main camera, but it definitely gets the job done. An even better story though is the software experience. You get iOS 8 on a budget and it actually runs really well. Like way better than the last iPod. Seriously. The new iPod uses the Apple A8 processor, which is the same processor they use in the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus. Seriously, the performance is 6 times faster than the old iPod Touch. That alone is reason enough to pick this up. The target demographic for this is mostly teens and preteens who will most likely play a bunch of games, and they're going to notice that big improvement. I've been playing this game called Mr. Jump and I haven't had a single problem running it, something that probably couldn't be said about the older iPod Touch. Actually, the only thing about this iPod that frustrates me, other than the fact that it is damn small, is the fact that Apple still includes a 16GB option. 16 gigs is not enough. I upgraded from a 16GB iPhone 6 to a 64GB iPhone 6 Plus just last week because 1, the battery sucked on the 6, and 2, I ran out of space in about a week. My music library by itself is about 20GB, and then you need space for apps and pictures, so I'm not sure why anyone would go for the 16GB version unless you plan on only using Apple Music, but then again you have to be connected to the internet, and I don't know. But then I remembered, this isn't aimed towards my age group. Like I said before, I think the target demographic is mostly teens and preteens. These are most likely the kids who don't have a phone but still want something cheap to message their friends with and use apps on. Let's be honest, no one calls anyone anymore. If you have Wi-Fi, you basically have a phone. Also, I guess I kind of understand this Apple Music part too, because if your parent buys this for you, then that probably means that you have a family. And if you have a family, then there's a chance that you also have family sharing for Apple Music, so makes sense. So yeah, that's the new 2015 iPod Touch. It's actually a huge improvement over the last generation iPod Touch. But now I'm interested. Comment down below if you still use an iPod. Actually, the first iPod that I used was a 120GB iPod Classic. Actually, boom! Got the glossy back and everything. Can't believe I used to watch movies on this thing. Anyways, leave your comment down below. If you're not already, be sure to subscribe by hitting that big red button down there and follow me on both Twitter and Snapchat. Actually, all of my social links will be down in the description. I'm really active on all of my social media. But anyways, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.